Yeah, but I didn't click on anything like that, so I'm like, why is this playing right now?
Yeah. That's the thing about YouTube now. You can't really like watch any ghost or any things like that and like believe it because editing's so good nowadays. Like anybody can do it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
My dad
I
had
watched
some.
one.
My dad had some really creepy ones from his work though that they couldn't explain what it was, and it was pretty legit from their security cam footage.
Your dad?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it almost looked like a plastic bag floating through the building, and like their pot you could see just flew off the shelf, and then they had some glass break as well where it was by, and you could see its path that it was taking through the building. So he was like, either someone really set up a very elaborate plan to be caught on security cam footage. He's like, or we don't know what happened. He said, but we had to go up and investigate it. It was out in Midland, Texas. One of their stores out there. Boom, 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 boom. We're going to be starting soon, guys.
I don't think I've ever seen anything personally, but I've heard things before.
Yeah. So it's multi-universes, right?
Yeah, we're
So it's
just demons, like the Bible says.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I was feeling a little Ryan inspired there. Oh, yeah.
I'm still scrolling, even though we're starting. Like I'm just hunting for that one or two little more weird things.
About 4 or 5 years
I know.
ago.
I know. I don't need a bunch.
Yeah.
I was going through some stuff, and I was like, I'm not I don't get depressed hardly ever, even if stuff's really tough. But this is, I forgot a lot of things were just kind of coming down on me at once, and I was real just beat up, and I was laying in bed in the dark,
Mm-hmm.
and I was just kind of meditating on it, and I just said, you know what, I'm not gonna be depressed. And when I had that thought in my head, like enough is enough of this, I heard something say no. I was like, what? I jumped up so fast and turned on all the lights. And I just started saying, it wasn't at my house, it was at my friend's house, and they were in the front room watching a scary movie, and I was just tired, and I went to bed. And so it's even worse when you're not in your own house.
Mm-hmm.
I heard it. And I thought they were playing around with me. I peeked out in the living room. They're both just sitting there watching their movie. And I started praying to the Lord. I was praying in tongues. I was praying any way you can think of.
It's weird when you think about sometimes how there can be fear that comes from demonic stuff or what we think is spiritual, but when we read scripture, if we take it literal, the devil is already defeated. He literally has no power at all other than what we give him. So when we get scared, well then I guess he has that, but it's really only whatever we give him. So the Bible kind of describes him as the opposite. Well, in a
Okay.
I think the freakiest games I've ever played that spook me out are water levels in games.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
I don't like
why,
water
they just
creatures
bother me, dude.
that I can't see,
Nah,
but I can
just
hear.
don't like underwater levels.
Bum, bum.
You want to get these videos ready that I told you I was going to have you do? Because I forgot. You've been doing all your other stuff I didn't tell you.
Well, I didn't know you had videos for me.
Yeah, I told you I would.
I wish we had that one recorded.
Are you being real? You even repeated it back to me.
Hold on.
It's already 7:30, boys.
Mm-hmm.
Clint is screwing the pooch.
Clint, you're the one that needs me to put videos up all of a sudden, out of the blue.
All of a sudden, I literally told you that an hour ago.
All of a sudden, hey guys, I got a video for Clint to play. It may not work tonight though, because of my internet. Just being honest with you.
Okay.
Because my Google browser is not working like it should. What do you need me to look up?
One video is called Spooky Halloween Window Projections.
Oh yeah, I've seen those. Those are actually pretty cool. You put it on a DVD on a projector, right? It like puts it up on a canvas.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
It's
so
probably just over the internet nowadays. But
I have several different ones here.
no, it's the one that's actually titled what I just told you. Spooky
Spooky.
Halloween Window Projections.
It's just a minute 32, right? Just a little minute 32 video.
Yep.
Okay. What's the other one?
Purge Halloween Mask.
Okay. This is a picture or a video or
It's a video.
video. Okay.
It says Purge Halloween Mask, and then it says dash LED light blue.
Okay.
So a minute and 2.
Gotcha.
Found it.
You talking to me? Yeah, I did.
Okay, and then the last one is Gemmy, Gemmy, animated eyeball doorbell.
Jimmy?
Gemmy.
Gimme. So again, gimme what?
Gemmy, and then animated eyeball doorbell. That's a longer video, but you can just skip ahead.
Okay, it's a review.
Yeah, but you can just skip ahead to like, let's see, minute 55. And just play the section where it's actually working if you want. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So people can see it. That's it. The rest of them, you don't need videos for.
Babe? Yeah, come here. I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
Okay, I got them loaded.
Okay.
Alright.
Take it from me, I've learned my lesson. She gave everything, she was such a blessing, but from day to day, she would change her ways. Give me her love, then she take it away.
Alright, we're about ready. Get this chicken kicking.
Let's roll.
Give Hunter a second. I think he's talking to the missus. I think he is. So sorry we're starting so late tonight, guys. We'll be getting going here in just a minute.
Oh, I forgot you said you already went live. I'll share real quick. Right? You did already go live?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. I've been live since the Demon Talk.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I'm good to go.
Okay. We're just sharing the post real quick.
No, go with Mama. Go. Go. Love you.
On the groups thing, I wish it would just let you, like, just click it like it used to. Where you just send the multiples. Doesn't do that anymore. Pretty annoying.
I got casual, and I can just click multiple still, so I can do level up. And retro, you've been sharing to those?
Yep.
Yeah, I got those.
Okay, I'll share the dad's gaming or the dad's group. I got one called the start button. I'm gonna go ahead and post. If they get mad, they get mad. All right. I think that's it. It says we're playing Overwatch, which we're not, guys. We're not playing Overwatch. It's all a big ruse to get you in the room.
Well, they
Check
should
us
be
out.
putting. They should have a talk show or podcast or something in the gaming category
Yeah,
that we
yeah.
can click, but they're failing.
Well, they're
Miserable.
Facebook, you know?
Yep.
They're trying to act like they're ready for this streaming live, but they're not entirely ready
Exactly.
for the streaming live.
Exactly.
Still working out the kinks. Look at that, 681 follows. Thank you guys for following the page. So happy for that.
Yeah.
And that's called sincerity.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Sincerity. Thanks for that.
Sincerity, yeah.
All right. Let's roll. We're shared up. We're rocking.
Shared
Let's get this
up.
podcast blasting. Roll that beautiful bean footage.
That dog died, by the way, like recently.
Yeah, that's all right. Dogs die.
All dogs go to
Did you say all dogs go to hell or heaven?
I was gonna say heaven, but then I said well.
Well, there is that movie that's super adult, that's for kids, that I watched when I was a kid,
Right.
and now you go back and look at it, it's like, dang,
Serious.
Charlie was not a good dog. Like he was dark, but I love Charlie. Okay, that's what we're sticking with. All right, here we go, boys and girls and gals and guys, and whatever else, getting ready.
We've been getting ready. Let's do this thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. All right, 5, 4, 5, 2. Hey, I'm coming out of someone's headset, by the way.
Who's going first?
Is that better?
Yeah, it's better.
You didn't even say anything yet, so there's no way you could have known.
I definitely don't hear myself anymore.
You're such a gay.
Hey, we're live.
know.
Ryan.
That was my adjustment from fag. I tried to
Whoa.
not say that.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mistakes were made. I'm trying, people. Doing my best.
He's
Love
really
you
not a
guys.
hateful person, guys.
He's
No, I
not.
come from the generation where we use those words, and I know
He
we
just
we
has
shouldn't
spelling
use
wrong.
those words nowadays.
Yeah. It's a hard life broadcasting these days. Look, we just lost
Yeah.
2 people, Ryan. Thanks. All right.
Sure.
We did.
We chose for heaven.
I
And it wasn't over that, though, trust me.
Oh, I don't know. Okay.
Oh, my gosh.
Here we go.
You're going to get a stern talking to after this.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Tonight on the Delirious Dads Gaming Podcast.
Beer bellies?
Staying alive on Dead by Daylight.
These mobile games are making millions.
And now, the Delirious Dads Gaming Podcast.
Welcome, everybody, to another night, another day, another afternoon, depending on
Might be
when
morning.
you're listening to this. Could be.
You left
Could be on your way to work.
Yes, it's another episode, the 36th episode of the Delirious Dads Gaming Podcast. We're coming to you a little bit early on the live stream because Ryan's baby is coming tomorrow. Whether whether the wife goes into labor or not, baby is coming tomorrow. So
See, you guys thought we were late because it's 7:30, but we're early. We're a
Yeah.
whole day
Right.
early.
it's
Yeah,
true.
we're a whole day early.
Yeah, we're 20.
I like that.
Yeah, we're 23 hours and 30 minutes early.
Yeah.
If you
Or
count it.
23 and a half hours, all depending on how you like to say it.
Yeah, well, I say time very oddly. To be honest.
Yep. But we'll have a little baby girl sometime tomorrow.
Yep.
Unless it's a,
Nice.
over 18-hour labor, and then it'll be the day after tomorrow.
The day
which
after
would be
tomorrow.
rough. So let's cross our
I've been
fingers and
through
hope
some
that
of
doesn't happen.
dude.
Yeah, don't do that. Yeah, the day after tomorrow. That's a movie.
If you guys didn't know,
Yeah.
Natalie labored for like 2 days.
Yes, this is
before
true.
She just had to tap out.
I think we documented it on the podcast.
Yeah, the midwife was like, "Hey, we can't do this anymore. You got to go get your pitocin." And she
Yeah.
was devastated, but she tried, man, for two days. We went back
Dang.
and forth to the birthing center.
You know what? Dad
So,
was doing
praying
just fine.
for you, Ryan. Praying for you.
Well, Tiff has been ready to roll, so she's
Yeah.
going to Pitocin it tomorrow and rock that baby out of there.
Yeah,
Don't they say that the second one's easier? Isn't that a thing?
yeah, it's supposed
Yeah.
to be. Supposed to be. Yeah.
But what about games? I mean, we're dads, so
Well,
we're talking
yeah, I
dads.
mean-
Yeah, we got games. Tonight's episode may be a little bit quicker than normal, just because Ryan's life is chaotic, so we're not trying to keep him here quite as late. But
I see you're blaming me. I like it.
yeah, I'm totally throwing the blame your way. But we got a good show planned for you. I'm gonna be hitting some news. Hunter's gonna be throwing out some tips and tricks, and Ryan, he's been looking at Amazon and trying to find some, weird
Halloween
and
gadgets
odd.
and gifts.
Okay, that's the route you decided to go.
Well, both. The trouble has been finding the weird ones. Right.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I found good ones, which I'm going to do both.
But you would think Halloween would have some weird ones along the way.
Well, yeah, but you find weird that's good,
Mhm.
right? There's plenty of those. But I was looking for weird like they shouldn't have made that weird. And I had trouble finding
Okay,
things like that. So
that's interesting. That
Yeah.
would be. I didn't think that would be as hard to find, but that's okay.
no, usually we can like pull a random category out of our butt, and we can usually find weird items. So
Oh, yeah, all the
Halloween I
time.
thought was going to be like a plethora, but no, this has not worked out that way.
Yeah. Novelty shops took all those ideas, I guess. Maybe that's
Yeah.
what happened. So,
That's I guess all the things that are weird the rest of the year kind of fit during Halloween, so it's hard to find something that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it sounds like Ryan needed some tips and some tricks on how to find these things. And so,
Yeah.
Hunter, I think that's the best segue to let you take over, my friend.
Kind of. I don't have any tips for Ryan.
All right.
I am beyond help. I get it.
Yep.
Yes.
That's what his mom told him.
In a world of Easter eggs and cheats, it's time for What They Don't Want You to Know.
All right, guys. I got some tips and tricks for you. And what better in the month of October than a little bit of a scary game, and one that we've been super pumped about.
Yeah,
Before I go into detail,
we've been geeking
I just
it.
want to check and make sure that Clinton hit that record button tonight.
I did, but I'll triple check. Oh yeah, it's there, guys.
Okay,
Yep,
good.
we're
I
good.
didn't want to go on a big spill and then have
Yeah.
to start that over, but
Yeah. Hey, these things
that's what's
happen.
truly terrifying. Okay,
It is. It's
so we've been getting into Dead by Daylight,
Mhm.
and I can't play enough of it. In fact, I'm sad because
Yeah.
it's been quite a while since we've been on,
I
and I've
know.
been itching to get on there. So maybe I need to find me another crew. I don't know, but
Oh,
we.
hey, the bad part about
It's-
that game
it's
is they're
mostly-
gonna be mute unless they're on Discord with you.
Yeah, it's funny. It's mostly my fault because these guys have been getting on without me. Because the other night I was like, "Who's getting on?" And Ryan's like, "Well, I'm putting Rory to bed. I'm kind of tired. I may fall asleep. I may not." Clinton's like, "Hey, I got somebody from the family over watching movies tonight." So I was like, "All right, I'm going to bed." So I go to bed and then I wake up in like the middle of the night, like 3, and look at my phone, and I got texts from these goobers like, "You guys still getting on? Are you getting on? Where's Hunter at?
We didn't
Is
give
he
up the
still
good
awake?"
fight. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I was pissed the next morning, but that's okay.
Yeah,
we'll get back on
we've been
there
sneaking in like an hour here, an hour there. Like a couple, an affair.
Oh yeah,
Hey, bro, let's
Clint called
meet up for an
me.
hour.
Clint called me one night to get me on, and really he just wanted company while he was editing the podcast because he didn't get on for another hour, and I woke
Hey.
up from dead sleep to come in and play.
I think that's the
But it's-
night.
He has done that to me before. Clinton told me to get Minecraft so we could play together, and we haven't played yet. One night I got on it, and I was on there for almost 2 hours, and he was just dorking around with his computer.
Yeah.
So
That's
Hey, I
hilarious.
could tell you just right off the bat, for me, and we tried another game like this. I think it was called Last Day to Nightmare. Just wasn't that good. It just didn't have that fear factor. It was a whole different kind of game.
Yeah, they didn't
And
do good.
no, when we jumped on this game, I was hooked right away. The intensity, you got to shake your shoulders off. You know what I mean? You got to
Yeah.
kind of breathe during this game. It's
Breathe.
not like
You stop breathing.
jump scare,
Yeah.
but it's just so intense, and it's really the audio plus the video and the gameplay.
It's
They just did
it's
such a
that
good job.
dang
with it.
heartbeat, bro. That's what it is.
Yeah.
You hear that heartbeat ramping up.
Well, I've got some tips for you guys tonight, and to make us better, to make somebody out there that's listening better. And tonight I'm focusing on the survivors, because if I wanted to do tips and tricks for the killers, I'd have to go one by one because they're all different. And there is a little bit of that plays into the survivors too, because they also are a little different, but
Right.
not quite at the, I guess, vastness or as big as the killers are, because they're completely different in the things that they do and that
And
stuff.
guys,
So
we
maybe
need tips and tricks for this game.
Yes.
Yeah,
We're
we do.
new to the party. We're getting better to where we get us some wins and we get away from the killers sometimes. But when you first jump into this game and everybody else has been playing it for 2 years or whatever, it was a rough beginning.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
So if you're thinking about getting in, do some research, learn the game a little bit. It'll help a lot. And just listen to this podcast, I guess.
It feels impossible sometimes, but I remember the first night I played with you guys, I was like, this is so unfair. They're so OP. I don't understand. You guys are like, well, you don't get it. There's stuff on the other side that you're not seeing. So,
And there he
I
is.
haven't
There
It
he
was
is.
more. It was more than the first night.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So, anyways, we're gonna do some survivors tonight. The first thing you want to know about your survivors, and I kind of touched on it earlier, is each survivor is unique in its own way, or her own way, and so there's a couple, different things that in their perks that are gonna be different. I just was gonna touch on 2 tonight, just to kind of tell you if you're starting out. Claudette's real big because, like Clinton said the other night, you can eventually at a certain level get a perk that allows you to heal yourself without a medical pack. So that's huge, because there's times where you're running away from the killer and you need to be at full health again so you can run correctly.
Well, and I realized when Clint started playing her, you get that perk early. You just don't get it as a teachable till way later. But you
Right.
get
So
that
the
perk pretty
teachable-
early.
Yes, and so
Well, you start off
the
with that
difference
perk.
between that. If
Oh,
you've
really?
never played
Okay.
or you're new. Okay, so you start off with it. The difference is, if you've never played this or you're new, is that teachable things is something you can pass on to the other players. They don't have to have this perk, but while you're in game, they can use it. Correct, guys?
No, the way it works is, how you, in this game you have a little, what they call a web that pops up things that you can purchase with
Yes.
your in-game currency. once you make it teachable, it'll pop up as if it's one of their perks.
Right.
And
So
you
it,
can purchase
right.
it.
it makes
Yeah.
it to where
And then
another
you use
survivor
it.
can
So
buy
they-
it later. It's not
They
like an
still have to
automatic.
buy it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
I get
Yeah.
it. I thought maybe that they could just equip it or something.
No,
Okay,
yeah,
so
later
they have to
later
buy
on
it too.
yeah, later on it just shows
And
up in
and it's
their
still just by
feed.
chance whether it's going to show up or not, or
Yeah.
So yeah, kind of interesting.
Right. But the main thing about Claudette is that you can heal yourself, and that's a big that's a big thing for you when you're starting out, because you're probably going to get hit quite a bit and downed quite a bit and all those things. And then the other starter that we favor is Meg Thomas, and the reason why is she is fast. She's a good person if you're wanting to outrun the killer, and she has some different perks like the quick and quiet perk. So this allows you to run and leave less of a trail, obviously, because when you run in this game, you leave a bright glowing red trail for the killer. So when you acquire this perk, which is probably again a beginner perk for her, you can run and not draw as much attention to yourself. So those are the two starting ones that we would recommend, because one, able to escape the killer pretty easily with Meg, or I guess you'd say easily. It's not very easy either way, but or you could heal yourself with Claudette if you get hit. So is there any?
And I think
before I move on?
Meg has one of her teachables is called something burst sprint burst, something like that. And it's a teachable that allows you to get a basically, I think it's like a second sprint when you get attacked, and it's a teachable. So I think that's a pretty desirable perk. So yeah. And what's funny is I started with Dwight, and he doesn't he's good in the sense of he splits, he boosts his other characters, but he doesn't have some of those crucial ones that you really want. He's got some that people like, but most of his aren't near the top. But I already committed, so I'm building him all the way before I go to the next one.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if that's another one, Nancy with the Stranger Things pack, she has something similar where if you get hit once, you have like a 100% sprint boost for a couple seconds. So you get hit once. Well, the killer, when he hits, he has to wipe his blade. So he hits, wipes the blade. You're like, you get a really good boost. So all those different things. Before I moved on, though, do you guys have any players that you favor and what for?
For me, I've been playing David King a lot. He's one of the survivors, and he's got a good one called Dead. What is it? Dead. Oh, it's Dead something. I can't remember the exact name of the skill. But basically, how the skill works is when I get hit as a survivor, Dead Hard, that's the name of it, of the skill. When you get hit by a killer, usually when you get hit by a killer and it's your first hit, your character will do like an adrenaline sprint and get a little bit of space from the killer to give you a chance to get away. Well, with David King's Dead Hard ability, he actually has another adrenaline rush that you can activate while being chased. And so you hit for me, it's the E button. And so it gives me a whole nother sprint that I can use to try to escape the killer.
So it's kind of like that sprint burst that Meg has.
Yeah. So basically,
Meg has an adrenaline boost too.
Yeah. Yeah. So basically I'm getting two and one out of that. So for me, that's has proven pretty good. Yeah.
So yeah, different ways of avoiding the killer, healing, all those things with the different characters you can pick. And so again, those are Claudette and Meg Thomas are some good ones recommended to start with. And so the next thing I'm moving on to is levels are important. If you don't have a crew that you play with and you're joining in and you're a 12, you've been working up and you enter a party with 1s and 2s, it's probably good for you to back out and try again. Because obviously, if you're trying to win the game, these guys are just starting. Or they've gotten the game at a time it was free or something and hardly ever play it, whatever that might be. But
and the game has a true rank system.
Yes, it does. It's very true to the levels, and you know your perks go along with it. So these guys are going to be, if they're low level, they're not going to have much to offer you. They're not going to have much to help you out. So, again, you want to try to match up your level. Of course, it's not ever a bad thing to play with some people who are higher level than you. You may learn some stuff from them, watching how they play, all those different kinds of stuff. So, levels are important. So try to play with your level or higher. The next thing on the list is have good internet. So This one is, I know that sounds funny, but there's ways you can check this. The number one way you can check this is if the host is having some bad connection or something, whatever that may be. You go down to the chat while you guys are in the lobby waiting to go into the game.
Okay.
And you type something in the chat and send. It should come up immediately or within a couple milliseconds of delay. And if it doesn't, that's probably going to hinder you in the game. You're going to be a little slower for the killer because your internet's slower. You may freeze up.
And this game's full of what you call skill checks, which basically are speed taps where you got to hit a little window at the exact right time. Yeah. And when you don't, it's like your life is on the line. And so, lag is a big thing in this game.
So
me and Clint have both lost our mind over nights where we've had bad lag.
Yeah, Hunter's pretty talented. Like Hunter can hit those skill checks, and he's pretty good at hiding too. I feel like me and Ryan are kind of more out there, just sometimes.
Right, and that's some stuff we're going to touch on in a little bit. The skill checks and hiding, actually. But one thing that I read up on that I don't usually do, and that they say you should do all the time, is ruin the offerings. So you need to this is later on in the thing. But what I was talking about is not the offerings, but the
totems.
The totems, the shrines.
Yeah.
Every time you come across one of those, destroy it.
Okay.
Because that has to do with some of the killer's perks and stuff like that. So it's very, they said that there's it takes 10 seconds or 15 seconds to destroy one, and there's usually 5 of them on the map. So it's about a minute of work. But it's worth it because it can give you points for one, and for two, it's going to cripple the killer. And so
I usually do it for the points, and when I think there's a hex. I didn't know that they affected their perks. So
it has something to do with. I think that's what I read. It has something.
Which I guess their hex are the perks.
The game with So so have good internet. Next on my list is run offerings every time. Every time you're starting up, put an offering. In or a sacrifice or whatever they're called on there in the slot. Use them. Don't be afraid that you're gonna burn through all your offerings because you pick them up pretty regularly, and they're always going to help you in some way. And so you want to use those that are gonna multiply your blood points and those kinds of things, and don't be scared that you're gonna use too many of them. Just use them.
When you use your blood points, that's how you promote in this game. That's how you get to next level.
Yeah.
Not your rank. Yeah. There's a level, right? Your character levels, and then you have a rank. Those are two different things. But you want to level up your character so you can get better perks and things like that. So spend your blood points. There is no purpose to saving them.
And the one thing I did want to say, sorry to interrupt again, but on the totems, like you were talking about cleansing those totems, I know one of the big perks that a killer will use, and hopefully I'm not skipping ahead here, Hunter. Just let me know if I am. But they like to run a perk called Ruin, which basically affects the generators. And so it'll slow down the time that it takes for you to do. It's super slow to do it, repair a generator. And then it also, I think, notifies them if you've been on the generator too long or something like that. So that can be game breaking for the survivor if you don't handle that. So sorry.
No, you're cool.
No, you're good.
Right. So if you're just joining us, we're talking about Dead by Daylight right now and some tips and tricks to help you out. And so so it's very important to destroy all those totems you come across. It takes 15 seconds if you do it right. Just do it.
You get a lot of them with no skill checks, so they are pretty easy.
Right. And like you were talking about, Ryan, you were talking about blood points. So you earn those by doing different things. And so the next thing is when I started the game, I saw, the blood web, and I thought, well, it doesn't matter what I go in because I'm going to have to collect all of them anyways. Well, that's not the case. Once you start getting higher levels, you can actually get things and level out, and then that whole tier goes away. So you can't buy those other things anymore. So you do need to be intentional about what you're buying. If your blood web comes up, and you see something in that corner that you want, you need to go towards it because you don't know how many you're going to go before that web disappears. So you need to spend your blood points and be intentional on the things you pick. And so, whether that be a perk or an item, the guy's article that I was reading today said that he loves the skeleton key because it's pretty OP for the player. And so if he ever sees those on his web, he goes for them immediately. So that's about it on the blood points and the webs. But when we're kind of going to get... We talked about players, having good internet, running offerings, blood points. Now we're going to go into the actual gameplay when you get into the match.
Okay.
And so when you load in, it's always good to go straight for a generator. If it's by you right away, unless the killer's near. If you hear him right away, you just want to hide or get away. But if you spawn in next to a generator, start working on it, because you're going to need to get those 5 going. So just go ahead and start. And then if you spawn close to other people, meet up with them. Come together for a second, because I don't know if you guys knew this, but you actually get 200 blood points for it's kind of like an achievement. Those achievements you get throughout the whole game for doing certain things.
Yeah,
that's what gives you your blood points. So you get a 200 point blood point for the reunite achievement.
Nice.
You can get up to 600 just there.
Just by doing that.
Everybody.
Okay.
So if you see people, meet up with them, and then tackle those generators together. In fact, his article, which I thought
it's
was
way
funny,
faster.
We've talked about this before, whether we should split up or stay together. He strongly suggested, and from what I saw and most of the things I read, they suggest going as a team. Try to stay together, because you're going to get the generators that faster. You can cause some chaos when the killer comes upon you. So you don't know who to follow, for a little bit. It may give you a split second to go a different way. But
even your paths will cross. Your scratch marks can cross and stuff.
So if all the players, because I know sometimes, I don't know if it's been a perk somebody's used or just happened to be, we've all started, all 4 of us in the same section. So just kind of come together and then go together. And right there you got 600 points. So be a team player. That's my next point. And travel with your pack. Team up on the generators. Team up on anything you can. And it'll go a little faster. If someone misses the quick time on the generator, don't freak out. Like, don't run and just instantly start taking off, because you don't know all the time if the killer's coming. But what you should do is hide. Don't just stay in front of the generator, because a lot of the times they are going to come. Most of the times they're going to come. And so if you're there and somebody blows it, just kind of go around a corner, get a good vantage point, because you got to remember, these killers, they play in first person. So it's not easy all the time for them to see. They can't see around that corner. They can't see if you're way off to the side. We may be able to see them, and a lot of times we think, oh, if I can see them, they can see me. That's not always the case. So running may get you in trouble, because they may not see you
a lot of
in the
times.
Corner.
And then you bail out too early.
Running, and they hear you, or they see that red pop up, and instantly they go for you. So if you mess up on a quick time, just hide and wait for a second. If you hear the heartbeat coming, again, don't freak out. Just look around at your surroundings and then make an educated decision on if it's time to get out of that area or stay until he leaves. So,
one thing me and Clint have started doing too on those generators is, if we can tell the killer is going towards, like, somebody who we know is got a generator almost going or something over there, we'll mess up on the generator we're on purpose.
Yes.
And then go hide somewhere, because when you're playing the killer, it's hard to decide which way should I go. Should I check that? Should I not check that? Because you're kind of short on time, and the more chaos that's happening, the harder it is. And so sometimes it's not a bad thing to mess up.
Another strategy on that is, if there's 2 of you working on a generator and one guy blows it, or if the killer just happened to walk over that generator and you guys hide, well, if he sees one of you, it's a good idea, if you're going to get chased anyways, to kind of lead him away from that generator, because then he doesn't
let the other guy work on it.
Yeah. So if you are the guy who wasn't seen and you see him taking off after your buddy, hop right on that generator as fast as you can.
Right.
That's a good tip.
Because a lot of the time, they're not going to just turn back around and check it again. They got somebody in their sights. And again, like I said, they're first person, so they're not going to be running after somebody and see somebody behind them get on that generator.
Right.
So work on the generator if they're chasing another person. Yes.
And we've had
What was
those kind
my
of
next
matches
one?
too, and I know you've played with this, Hunter, where you get in that situation where everyone's trying to heal everyone and save everyone,
Mhm.
and then you've
Right.
spent 10 minutes not doing anything to generators,
Right.
and they've killed off 2 of your partners anyway.
Right.
And a lot of
Yeah,
times,
that's
I
a
think
point.
that killer's building confidence when that's happening too, because he's like, I'm getting them, and they're not even getting any generators done, and he starts playing better. You got to get him out of his game.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Frustrating the killers will give you, the upper hand for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Because they start to make worse decisions, And so, if you do a generator, and you all your buddies are there, and you guys just execute it perfectly, move together. There's no reason for you to get the generator done and then split up because he's obviously not on to you. Now, when that generator comes on, the light comes on, so obviously he can probably see that sometimes. But it doesn't mean that you need to run off somewhere. Just stay together, move on to your next point. And so the more efficient you are at finishing those together and moving on in a proper way, the faster you're going to get those 5 generators up.
Right.
And so keep your eye out. This is the next one. Keep your eye out for chests. A lot of the times, I know I've even been playing, I said, oh, that's just a chest. I need to go for the generator.
Mm-hmm.
No, when you open those chests, it's always good to just go ahead and open when you get an item, and you get points for opening chests. So, I mean, that's the
I
whole
didn't
point of
realize
these
that
matches.
that you got points. Okay.
The whole point of this match is to get some points and rack them up, so you need to take any chance, especially if it's a quick.
Well, even if you don't need the
15-second
item that's in
thing.
there, it's open for somebody else who'll come by. It'll make it faster.
True.
Yes.
Because I don't think the
So-
killer can even shut the chest doors. I think
Not
those
that I
stay
know of.
open. Yeah.
So keep an eye out for chest. Just kind of keep your eyes open when you're walking around for chest, for those totems, all those different things that you can destroy and open. And
Love it.
Once generators are done and you got your 5, book it to the exit, boy. That's the next one. Don't mess around. The only thing that might stop you from booking it to the exit, obviously, if the killer's in your way, he's guarding it or whatever, but that's why there's 2. And the second thing is you may have come across a hatch. Well, the question is, when you come across a hatch, should I wait around for this or should I go for the exit? What should I do? Because that's pretty rare when you stumble across that.
Yeah.
Well, all that depends on your killer. If your killer seems pretty skilled and he's got, like Michael Myers, they're usually pretty skilled
Mm-hmm.
killers. If he's pretty good at what he's doing and he's knocking all your teammates and people are getting killed left and right, you should probably camp that for a little while just to make sure. And so that's a good way to get out if it ends up being just you.
Yeah.
Let's see what else I have. So you want to camp across with that if you feel like the killer's really in a good spot to win the match.
Okay.
Be strategic on turning on your generators. This is something I never thought about, but it's something we came across the other day when we were playing, actually. See, there's generators all over the map, and you can get down at the end to 3 generators, but you only need to turn on one of those generators because there's extra. There's not just 5.
Right.
It's good to be strategic not to leave the last 3 in a close proximity.
Yeah, that's screwed
Because
us.
if you do that, then the killer can just do a tight circle. And a lot of the times it's really hard to get out of. That match we did, we got out of it, but he kind of
But he wasn't the most skilled, was he? Yeah.
No. And I think he let one of us go, actually, at one point. But keep those spread out. So, it seems like a good thing sometimes to light one up and then, oh, there's one right over here, let's just go for it. Sometimes you want to be a little strategic and spread those out so that
move around the map
if
a
you
little
get
more.
to your last 3, he has to go across the map.
Okay.
And what this does...
I've never really
is-
thought of that. That's a really good tip.
Yes. And so this spaces it out to the point where if you hear the killer coming up on you on those last 3, you just got to hide. You got to hide and be out of his sight. And he's got to decide if it's worth it to stay and look for you or decide if he thinks you're across the map at the other generator.
Right.
Gotcha.
And so this gives you some time to, once he leaves, get on that generator. And you may have to do that 3 or 4 times, but
Right.
it's going to be way easier than 3 that are right the same
Right in
tight
the same
circle
area.
that he's just going to be able to loop around.
Okay.
So,
God,
big
now
one there.
now I want to quit the podcast and go play Dead by Daylight
yeah,
right now.
I know, right?
It's like, all right, guys, sorry, we're gonna go play some Killer vs. Survivor.
I love it. I love it. I may jump on later
Yeah.
tonight. I don't know.
No,
But,
I'll be on.
What am I looking at? I didn't even check my time, Clinton.
You're doing good.
Okay, I got a little bit left, so I need to buzz through it. And by a little bit, I mean like 3 pages.
Oh wow.
So,
Okay.
Obviously, great skill checks will turn on generators faster, and we were talking
Mhm.
about this earlier. It's risky going for those because if you click too soon or too late, you can miss it.
Mhm.
But as far as what I was reading, it's worth it to go for those
Okay.
because
Right.
if you can do it, the more often you do it, the better you're going to get at it, and you get to a point where you're hitting those pretty consistently, then
It speeds it up big time.
Yeah, you're going to speed up big time.
Because it gives you
And
a
you get more
boost when you
points.
hit the white, right?
Yeah,
The
and
little
you get more
marker.
blood points
Uh-huh.
for hitting the white.
And so, sometimes you're just gonna miss it, but most of the time, if you're, it's gonna be on. Usually, it's not in the middle of your safe point. It's on the edge, so it's either in the front edge or the back edge.
Okay.
So, I guess maybe a pro tip on that for me that I was thinking of is it's probably going to be safer to go for your one on the front end because if you're a
Yes.
little late on it, then you're going to still be in the safe zone.
I'm not sure if they're ever on the back edge. I'm not
Really?
positive. Do you guys know for sure?
I don't know that for sure, but I thought I saw it in the video.
No, they
If
can
they're
they
all-
can they can change depending.
Either
Some
side?
of,
Okay.
Some of them are on back, some of them are on front. Some of them are just white. That's very rarely though.
Oh, those ones are hard. Yeah, when
Yeah.
it's just
Yeah.
white only.
I don't know what triggers that, but that's
I panic.
probably
I'm
a
like, oh no.
Yeah, so don't panic like Ryan. Just breathe and try to get that. And sometimes Ryan said before, sometimes they're tricky and they're like right when it starts.
Mhm.
And those guys are just hard. If my only tip on that is if it is you see it just right there, just try to get in your safe zone on that one because you'll have other chances to try to hit that specialty one. But Ryan's giggling. over there.
Cody Brown said there isn't a single neck in this video. They're all just no necks.
I love it.
Come on now, it's just my beard's hiding it.
Yeah. Hey, thank you so much. That's such a good comment.
I'm working on it, Cody. I just went keto this week and I'm running my butt off. Okay,
Yeah,
so maybe in a couple weeks there'll be some neck on here. Okay.
Okay, I'm on and off.
give me a
Okay,
break.
I'm on and
No,
off.
no matter how fit I've been, I've always been a no neck, so it's fine.
That's true. We don't have much going on.
You and Clinton, because you're wrestlers, you built like
Yeah,
this.
it's true. Yeah, even when I was sexy looking, it was still no neck. Yeah, that's true.
There was a time you were sexy looking.
Absolutely, bro. I used to be ripped, son, and then I stopped working out.
Right.
Yep.
Well, if you didn't know, back to my little thing here. If you didn't know, you actually before those quick skill markers, you get a tone. It gives you a sound tone to know that it's coming. And when I first started playing this, I didn't catch up on that at first. I just
really?
was waiting for it to pop up, and it didn't take me very long to catch on. I started hearing that little tone. I can't even replicate it. It's not like a ding. It's like a yeah, something weird like that.
Mm-hmm.
And so you know that it's coming. It's like a symbol or something like a tss or something. And you know. So when you're working on a generator and that goes off, you get ready to hit the space bar because it's coming. And so that's going to help you hit those perfect ones too when you get that good ear for that.
And if you had bad lag, it's already there.
Yeah, yeah.
That's right. So let's see here. What's next? When being chased, don't sprint and hurdle because it makes more loud noises. So when you are sprinting and running and you jump over something, it's going to make a noise to alert. So you may have gotten a little ground on the killer. He may not know where you're at, and you're trying to hustle when you get closer to a house, and you jump through the window. Well, it's going to make a racket, and he's going to be able to see where you are.
Right.
So
right.
don't do that. Don't throw the pallets down in a sprint because I think even that makes it louder. And so, obviously, usually when you're throwing a pallet down, you're sprinting anyways because he's right behind you.
Right.
But that kind of stuff doesn't matter. But it's easier to slow down and then go through the window just to make sure. Unless
I
he's
actually
right on your tail.
noticed. I actually noticed yesterday when I got in a couple quick games that if you're sprinting when you go into a locker, does the same thing. The locker
It
slams.
closes the locker really
okay.
loud.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So that's how those killers were catching it for a while there.
Mm-hmm.
And the next one, I didn't know about this. I don't know if you guys did. I was very surprised. But there's a certain music that comes on when the killer's chasing you, right? I mean, I knew that.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
But apparently it makes a certain tone right before the killer's about to swing at you.
Oh, really?
Yes. So if you're not looking behind you and you hear this tone, you know maybe you can dodge real quick. You just have to pick the right way, I guess, apparently. But that's what I saw on that. What I was reading is that if you can hear it, you can pick up on a tone that happens in the music to know that he's about to swing at you, which is crazy to me. I didn't even know that.
Gotcha.
So
and you can watch that red light too. Obviously, if that red light's on your back, you need to do something.
Yeah. Now that red light does it does kind of, I don't know, reflect further than you think it would.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
I did read sometimes what the killer will do, like if you're running, say you're looping around a wall and he keeps kind of chasing you. What they'll do sometimes is if they think you're going to run, say they think you're running to the left, we'll say, right? They'll turn themselves to the left to shine their light that way, and it looks like they're coming that way, but they'll back themselves up and catch you on the other side. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy.
Oh yeah, they get me with that a lot.
Yeah.
So, if you just turned or came into the podcast, excuse me, we're talking about Dead by Daylight, and I just got into and no next.
Yeah.
I just got into tips and tricks about how when you're being chased, and that's where I'm kind of at right now.
Mm-hmm.
So don't run through the windows and all that stuff. It makes loud noises. Don't hurdle a window unless you know you have some distance between you and the killer. It slows you down, and they can grab you through the window, and they can hit you through the window. So, I was watching a guy actually gameplay today, and when somebody was right behind him, he acted like he was going to go through the window, and he hit a Yui real fast, and it threw the killer off like he missed him, and so he obviously knew he didn't go through the window, but he got
he
some
created
more
some
time
space.
and because he made an illusion that he was going to jump through that window and then just turned off really quick. So
Gotcha.
There's different things you can do, but if you feel like he's right on your tail, don't jump through the window because he's going to get you. Let's see. You can
bob and weave in this game for sure. I mean, it's
bob and weave.
The more you run straight and open area, they're faster than you.
Mm-hmm.
So the trick is to turn,
Yes.
backtracks, things like that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Imagine if somebody was shooting an airsoft or BB gun at you, you would be strafing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You would just run straight away from them. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what you want to do because they're first person. They have to line up and then hit, and it takes a lot. There's a whole animation to their hit, and then they gotta,
There's a timing to it too, especially if they do a lunging one.
Mm-hmm.
Because once they go for it, they're committed.
If they miss,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So, so don't jump through those windows unless you know you have distance. You can actually stun the killer by throwing down a barrier at the right time, the exact right time. They have to be right behind you and right up to that pallet, and you throw it down and it stuns them. And it has another, like I said, a little animation that's going to give you some more time to get away. So, again, talking about getting away, the best ways to get away, obviously, are running, hiding, stunning. And then if you feel like you have gotten a distance away to where he's not right on your tail, it's actually good. Especially, for this to work, you need to be in a heavily treed area where there's a bunch of trees, or there's those walls. You need to stop running because then he can't see your tracks anymore. And so when you get into those turns, you can make him lose your trail by slowing down and not sprinting anymore. And so when you feel like you get away, don't keep running because he can see that trail still. So once you feel like you got a good distance, kind of cut off of your
normal path,
and slow down and start sneaking again. Doesn't
Yeah,
always work.
as soon as
Sometimes
possible.
Yeah.
It doesn't always work. Sometimes he can see you, but hey, it's
Worth a
what
shot,
you gotta
right?
try. And if he sees you and you can tell he can see you, then you start running again.
Yeah.
So, let's see. When you get picked up, start spamming the wiggle button. I know I'm like number one frustration at this. You can ask Ryan and Clinton every time we play. Every time I'm like, why do they even have this? You can't even get off before you get to the hook. It doesn't make it, But when you wiggle, it slows down the killer. He's a little slower than he was before you do it. And there is a chance. I've gotten off before when he gets distracted by another player or something like that.
Later in the game, they're lower on hooks sometimes.
Yes.
So when they kill you, you're far away from a hook and you can get off.
Yes. Or if your team's destroyed some hooks or something like that.
Cody Richard, we are talking about Dead by Daylight, my friend. It's
Dead by Daylight.
It's $20 on Steam. Not sure how much it is right now on PlayStation or Xbox. Probably around the same
I think
price.
it's $10 if you don't buy the deluxe right now on Steam. So it's a cheap one. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's well worth playing. We're loving it.
Yeah,
It's been out a while. But...
asymmetrical 4v2, 4 survivors versus 1 killer. If you like horror games, they've got a lot of good licensed product.
It's like a B-film horror movie turned into a game.
Yeah.
So, anyway, sorry I missed your call, by the way, Cody. I was doing this. So. He gave me a call earlier, but I missed it. So when you get picked up, spam that button. And like Ryan was saying earlier, this can just be a simple frustration for him. That you're struggling and slowing him down. And so it's always important.
Hey, another quick thing that I noticed, when someone dies on a hook, that hook is destroyed. So there if it comes down to just 2 people out there with them, there's maybe more chance. Yep.
That's why I was saying later in the game, hooks can be spread out a little bit more. Because
I discovered that from playing the killer myself, actually. I went to take someone back to a hook that I knew was there, and I couldn't hook him because the hook had broke.
Okay, so I need to wrap it up. I'm going to go through these really quick, okay?
Okay.
When you get on the hook, do not try to escape. It just says don't do it. It's not even worth it. It kills you faster every time you try to escape. And so it's not gonna be good in the long run.
The only time you should is when it's just you or there's 2 of you left and you're both on the hook. Situation like that, then you have to.
Yeah.
Yes. So if you're on the hook, also struggle always as much as you can. Always struggle. You may be thinking, "Oh, there's no way my teammates are gonna come for me." This still gives in the killer's head. He knows you're not dead yet. He knows you're struggling. He thinks somebody might be coming to get you. So as long as you're still alive and struggling, it buys your teammates time to come get you. Or even do other things, because the killer has to still be wary in his mind that you're down there struggling,
right?
And that you may not be done yet. If a teammate gets hooked, be a team player. Go after them if you can. Okay. This is a big one right here. I wanted to touch on before I get off this because we've been in this personally.
Oh yeah.
If a killer is camping, there's a couple things you can do. You can get players off the hooks if a killer is camping and starting to place traps around him. Because, again, this takes a little bit of an animation, so it gives you enough time. You got to time it right. When he goes down, put the trap down, run, and get them off the hook. By the time you get them off, they're done with that animation, then you guys can escape.
Okay.
Or if it's one of the monsters that can go invisible. If they go invisible, if they can't attack you, they hit the invisible button, go down there, and get them off the hook.
Yeah, because they still have to have an animation to come out of that invisibility before they can hit.
If the killer is not doing any of those things and just simply just standing by the hook, if you know he doesn't have his one-shot kill on, you can actually use this weird strategy that works sometimes it doesn't. You need to run behind or beside the hook. He's going to come after you, and he's going to hit you once. Well, again, he has to have an animation where he cleans off his knife or whatever he has, because they do that. So they're going to hit you once. As soon as they hit you, you need to go take that person off the hook because the time you get them off the hook, you're going to have time to run.
Okay.
Because he's got to get that off. So you got to be really close to it, though. You can't be 4 feet away. You got to be almost touching the hook when he hits you.
Okay.
And then, other than that, I just got one or two more things. Steer clear of crows because they give away your position. If you have to go by them, sneak. Stay low to the ground. That's the only time they won't fly off.
Okay. Does that give him a visual cue or just an audio cue?
Yes, it gives him a visual cue. So if they fly up in the air, it does that little thing almost like when they mess up on a...
Really?
Yeah, it goes yellow and they fly off.
Huh.
So at least it did when I started playing. I don't know if it still does that, but I know it did. When the exit's open, if you let the killer get a little close to you before you exit, you get extra points for that.
Okay.
Near escape stuff. But you need to be careful because if it's like Mike Myers or somebody and they have their one-shot kill, you mess around, you're done.
Yeah.
So you got to be really careful with that. And then always be aware of your route and your surroundings to escape. Know where your barriers are, know where your hurdles and your windows are, and have a plan for your escape route if he comes to your generator or something like that. So if you time it right, you get over it, you can get away from those killers. So sorry,
we'll definitely talk more. Well, we'll talk more about Dead by Daylight. It's a game we're loving right now. It's Halloween time. It's a scary game. And so we'll bring some more Dead by Daylight probably some other time this month, I bet. It'll be in our conversation.
For sure.
Good game.
Sure. That was some good tips and tricks. Now I want to play Dead by Daylight. But before I can do that, I need to blast you guys with some gaming news.
Yeah.
That's what I got to get done first. So let's hit that right now. Leaks for Geeks. So you thought you got out of the information overload with the tips and tricks, but then we tricked you by throwing in some news. We switched it up this week, but I didn't pick. I don't have a lot of articles, but there are things going on in the gaming world every week, you know. The first thing I did want to talk about, and this one's kind of more of a, it's got a political tone to it, and people are not happy. Yeah, I know, right? But this isn't U.S. politics. This is actually some things going on over in Hong Kong and China.
All right.
So I got to basically kind of tell you, I'm not really versed in my politics or my policies, especially overseas. So throwing that out there right now, but I want to give you a quick backstory, basically what is going on so that you understand the story we're going to talk about. In Hong Kong, there's a bill going around that is going to give China the ability to allow extradition to the mainland of China. Basically what that means is it gives them the right to take any criminals from Hong Kong that maybe commit a crime in China and are back in Hong Kong. They take them and bring them into China, and basically imprison them. And that's kind of how I'm understanding it. So there's this big political thing. There's protests going up against the cops out there, the police force. And so they are fighting for their rights because the concern is this could be taken advantage of. And because the way the Chinese government runs things in their own country, they're fighting for they feel like they're fighting for their rights. And so, of course, there's some things going on, you know, people getting gassed and different things like that. Not gassed in the literal sense of getting killed, but, you know, smoke bombs and different things going on, tear gas and things like that. So that's really going on right now in Hong Kong. Well, how that relates to the story that we're about to talk about is there is a pro Hearthstone player from, he's a pro Hong Kong player, and he competed this past weekend in the Hearthstone Grandmasters Championship tournament. And after this was over, after one of his matchups, he went on and shouted, it was kind of a live stream deal. He said, "Liberate Hong Kong, a revolution of our times." And I believe it was, I don't even know if it was in English. I think it was maybe in Mandarin when he said it. I've not actually watched it. And then he also yelled another slogan. He said, another form of participation of the protest. He says, so he basically just says, it wasn't really anything really bad, but Blizzard Entertainment, Activision Blizzard, the Blizzard Entertainment portion came back, that side of the company, and basically they banned him for a year from any pro Hearthstone tournaments.
Really?
Yes. And they've said that he violated the terms and conditions of the tournament. It could be offensive. Basically, they're kind of going behind the deal of it could be offensive to certain audience or certain gamers of their company, and they were not tolerating that. So, yeah, he's been suspended for 1 year of competition. They also fired the 2 casters who were there putting on the stream. They fired them as well from the company. And so it's got a lot of people outraged because it kind of goes into this deal of Blizzard has a lot of money coming in from China right now for the mobile market. You know,
Right.
the mobile game, the Diablo mobile game is, they're teamed up with, I believe it's NetEase is the name of their Chinese company, corporation, that's helping develop that. And they get a lot of money from loot boxes and mobile gaming and things like that from the Chinese market. And so a lot of people are just really upset with Blizzard because they're like, hey, this guy didn't incite any violence. This guy didn't go out of his way to make it super political. He was just saying, I support this protest, you know, support these people kind of deal.
Well, some people could see that as that is inciting violence because the protest has become violent. And so if you're saying, hey, I'm for it, then you're saying I'm for, you know, this stuff that's going on here. Even though it's the political state that seems to be acting the violent, you get what I'm saying? But anytime there's a revolution or there's people standing up, I guess my first thought here was, first my mind goes, what? But then I realized, oh no, you're talking about while at the tournament he did this.
Yeah.
So it's not like he's not just a live stream. It was during the tournament.
Yeah, it was a post-game interview that was being live streamed. And the 2 casters that were there were involved in it.
And he was trying to use the platform.
Yeah, I think in the deal I read, not this article, but another article I was reading said the casters even ducked under the desk. It was like they knew it was going to be bad. Like, so they weren't wanting to be seen. I don't know. I kind of took the side of, I can understand why people are mad, but also a company like Blizzard, if this does incite more violence and they just kind of let it go by the wayside, then they could get backflow from that. So
yeah, I mean, I think it's that's the day and age we are with any kind of law stuff. I think it's better safe than sorry, and so that's the road they're taking.
Yeah, and Hunter,
see, for me,
go
for me, it's like being an American. You think of the liberty, like come on, you know, like we want that for China, you know, whatever they're fighting for freedom, and but at the same time, I don't, like I said, like Clinton said, I have no idea what's
actually going on over there,
what's going on, what they're fighting for, all that stuff. And then at the same time, again, being an American, you got to think about freedom of speech. And, you know, the guy didn't stand up and say, kill the government or, you know, anything like that. He just voiced what side he was on. And so I see what you guys are talking about where in this day and age, every company has to just completely just be careful of everybody's feelings. And for them, I think we are getting to a dangerous point. I really do. And I'm not going to get super political on here, but I just think that we've gotten to a point where if we don't believe necessarily what the other person believes, then we can't talk to them. We can't be friends with them. We can't
shut it down.
We can't even listen to that side of their story. And that's not the way it was intended at all. And so, like I said, I don't know how politics run in China. I know how they semi-run here. You know, just a fraction of how they run here in my own country. So, but it's a dangerous line there.
Yeah, and we've talked about how China's very involved, and you know, you can't stream over there like you can here. There's, you know, it's a lot different. The entire setup of the situation. This also comes right after though another big organization, the NBA. It recently distanced itself from the Houston Rockets manager Daryl Morey, who voiced his support for Hong Kong's protest in a now deleted tweet. The NBA said it was disappointed in Morey's inappropriate tweet, which had greatly hurt the feelings of the Chinese fans. Blizzard Entertainment's kind of in that same boat. The player's name that did get suspended is Blitz Chung. There's more that you can read up on the story, but yeah, he was suspended. He was suspended for a year. They withheld the prize money from the tournament that I think he was in the running for, so he will not be making any money off Hearthstone within the next year. So they came down on him hard, but yeah, I mean, people are mad, but Blizzard is an international company. We'd have
didn't
to be
say
on.
what the coach tweeted though. Didn't say.
No.
Didn't give you what he tweeted.
No, this article doesn't.
I'm wondering if it's a little different than what that kid said though.
Maybe.
'Cause
Yeah.
If it had the potential to hurt Chinese fans of the NBA, I think it would be a little bit more than liberate China.
Mm-hmm.
You
Yeah.
know, I mean, I don't know, but for me,
It may have just been just the fact that you got to remember, anytime you have any kind of a revolution or divide.
Well, it's
or
not. It's
anything
not
like
China
that,
being
right?
liberated. It's Hong Kong. So it's a situation if this bill gets passed, then China can basically say, yeah, you went against us, come in, take you, and you know, now you're screwed because you're not going to be able to stand up to their government.
But there's always going to
kind
be
of
people
the
that
thing going
stand
on.
directly with the government, and there's going to be those people that say no, and we're going to fight this. And so
And
if
there's
you say
people who
anything on
believe-
either side, you're going to offend.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's people believe that the government should be ran in a completely different way, all the time. I mean, here in America, we hear all these different, you know, views, and you know, more than half of them I hear on TV I don't believe in, but I don't get offended by it.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, it's just, you know, I think. Anyways, I'm not going to go into that. I could talk on that
Yeah.
all night,
Yeah.
dude. I could talk on that all night.
Yep. I understand both sides of the coin. Am I going to stop playing Blizzard Entertainment games? Heck no. That's
Right.
you know, that's not enough to get me. But I think you know, politically they did what they had to do, and it did in their eyes. It did mess with their terms and conditions, and they have the right to do that. It says it right there in the rules. They can deem
Right.
it inappropriate if they feel like it's
Yes.
it's going against certain
They
fan
have,
groups. Or,
yeah. They
so.
have. I think it stinks a little bit that he's getting, you know, obviously if he's in tournaments, he loves this stuff too. It may be
Yeah.
his livelihood, and
I couldn't believe they
and
did
that
a year
stuff.
ban, like maybe a 3-month ban or a 6-month ban.
Yeah, that's pretty
so,
big.
So
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. I think it stinks a little bit that this kid's not going to be able to play this for, you know, a year.
Well, that's his livelihood, right? We're
Yeah.
assuming this
And
is how he's
so-
going to make money.
Yeah, so that stinks. But you know, I do completely agree with him coming out and saying we don't believe in what he said, and we don't, you know, we don't accept that kind of stuff from that stage. You know, but banning, who's gonna know how long they ban him? Just say we ban the kid for
Yeah.
a while. You know,
Yeah.
slap him on
Yeah.
the hand.
So it's got
They don't
them.
do that
It's
again.
it's got them in the negative with their fan base here in the States, and I think in Europe
Well-
and places like that. But I mean, that's the YouTube people coming out and they're mad about it. So we'll
Exactly.
see.
Well,
we'll
we're
see.
already mad that our private companies are. We're seeing that all the time. Our private companies are taking political stances.
A lot
picking
of people I
sides all
saw
the
were
time.
saying that Blizzard was bending a knee to China, and I've heard them say that about the NBA. The NBA has bent a knee to China. I mean, we still gotta do business with these other countries, even if we don't agree with their policies
Right.
and
Right.
their things. So,
Big part of the
newsflash,
economy.
guys. No, none of us are the same. Nobody's born the same. Okay, so we're gonna
But-
have different views.
but as much
Newsflash.
as I hate politics, I'm getting out of that realm. I want to move on to another story that involves lawsuits. You guys like lawsuits?
I do.
Sure.
Sure, why not?
As long as I'm the one getting the money.
Well, Fortnite apparently is coming under another lawsuit, guys.
I don't.
Really?
Yeah. Who would have guessed?
Yeah,
Fortnite
yeah.
that uses everybody else's
Yeah.
stuff and puts it in their game.
Yep. Well, they're being they're being sued for not warning people of what the game has in it. Roughly 250 million of mostly obsessed gamers are battling it out in Fortnite. But a Montreal-based law firm launched
You're
a
super close to your mic. It's just super loud. Sorry.
Sorry. I'm
He's
actually
killing
I
Ryan.
was-
Ryan's like,
I'm actually reading, so
I
that's
got
why
you.
that happened. Let's scoot it back a little bit there. A Montreal-based law firm launched a proposed class action lawsuit in Canada on behalf of 2 Quebec parents who claim that Fortnite publisher Epic Games needs to pay the price for a third-person shooter they allege is as addictive and potentially harmful as cocaine. The firm, and I'm about to butcher their firm's name, Calix or Calais Legal, represents plaintiffs who are identified only by their initials FN and JZ. They are the parents of a 10 and 15-year-old respectively.
Wow.
So
So they're suing because it's addictive, or because they feel like they weren't warned of the content?
Well,
No, they weren't warned that it's addictive.
Right.
That's what they're saying.
That you can't
So-
get somebody on that.
so this
You made a game that's just too good.
Well, they're alleging that when a person engages in Fortnite for a long period, the player's brain releases the pleasure hormone dopamine, and that Fortnite was developed by psychologists, statisticians, and others over 4 years to develop the most addictive game possible.
As with every other big game, as with every other big app, as
Yeah.
with Facebook, as with everything we've ever done. That's exactly the same thing. Series do the same thing. Yeah, that's
Dr.
that's
Pepper
how we,
does the same thing.
That's why
There's
we pay advertisers.
I know.
Oh
Hey,
my
There's
gosh.
no warning label
Hey.
on this that says it's addictive.
All I know is those parents have a bunch of money, and
Don't
that
give me
lawyer
ideas,
knows
Canada.
they do, because he knows he's going to lose. There's no way he's winning that case, right? They may be able to go like a micro direction, and
you
talk
know that
about
lawyer.
the
He wanted to get his firm's name in the news. Is what he wanted.
Oh yeah.
See, here's the deal. They could have went a whole different way this and maybe got something out of it, because I know that Fortnite has like a rating, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so they have a rating, but it doesn't, like in other games when you pick up the hard copy, and I guess I've never seen a hard copy of Fortnite, so it probably does, but it has
Right.
to warn you everything that's in it. So you got blood, violence, and all that stuff. So I guess if they were trying to go that route, I could see where they might win something, but
Well, every time you download a game, there's a terms and conditions and things like
Yeah.
that, and it's in there.
Yep.
Yeah.
We just never read it.
And they're playing off all this stuff going on with it being gambling and different things, not just
Yeah.
Fortnite, but other
Right.
microtransactions and loot box things like that.
That's a
but-
real
then you
thing.
have-
That's a little different.
Yeah.
then you have like GTA is just so bad that they just expect people to be mad at them, so they're like,
hmm
They just
"We're gonna
don't
put
care.
this trash in here, and they know better.
Yep. They should know by our reputation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so Epic has 30 days to respond to this legal action. Let's see here.
You could literally say that about any game.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Like Madden, I get the same feeling from Madden when I whoop Clinton really bad.
it's
Well, any
addicting.
game.
but-
Why do you think we're loving Dead by Daylight right now?
Yeah,
Because we're getting
right.
adrenaline rushes, we're getting all this,
Right.
and it's
Getting that-
intense, and it's
getting
like
that adrenaline rush from the horror, and then
it's like, what's wrong with them?
getting the pleasure hormone from winning.
As soon as I think I'm sucking, they promote me, and I get a little bit better perk, and they hook me again. I'm gonna sue 'em. What are you
Yeah.
talking about? That's video gaming.
So yeah, be aware of
That's
that.
funny.
I don't think it's going. I don't think it's going anywhere, but it's there. It happened.
That's cool.
The world is going crazy. Yeah. So Call of Duty is also kind of booming right now. As we
The mobile.
yeah. How'd you know that's where I was going with it? I
Yeah,
like
it's
it.
blowing up.
Yeah, it is. And they got a lot going on. Modern Warfare is coming out October 25th.
I'm guilty,
I'm
guys.
excited for
I'm
that.
guilty.
So-
Okay, I'm guilty.
Already on it. I like it. So yeah, Call of Duty Mobile has reached 100 million downloads in the first week. That's surpassing Mario Kart Tour, Pokemon Go, and both mobile versions of Fortnite and Players Unknown Battlegrounds, aka PUBG.
Wow.
Dang.
So it is
I
now
won't
the
list
largest.
any names,
hmm
but somebody texted me last week and was like, "Bro, you gotta try Call of Duty on your phone." And I was like, "I didn't even know you played games, dude. You don't have a console in your house?
hmm
You don't." Yeah. And I was like, "Whoa." I could probably
Really?
tell you guys after the podcast, but I'm not gonna drop it on.
I
on
got
live.
you.
So,
Wow. Yeah.
It was
so
surprising to me, so I tried it.
I knew it was
was
coming
pretty good.
out, but I didn't know how good it was going to be. Apparently, apparently I need to download that so I can play it in my
I
breaks
just-
at work.
I checked it out. One of the guys that works with me, he was playing it in the truck the other day when we were driving, and the thing that was really confusing for me was when you're turning, right?
hmm
It's like a swipe. It's not like a knob where you can free flow both ways. Maybe they have that as a choice, but the way he was playing, it was like turn. I was like, nah,
You can,
I know
you
I
can
can't do
switch
it.
your settings. You
Yeah.
can switch your settings. You can have real simple ones, or
Another setting he told me is that there's auto shoot. When your
Yep.
cursors are on top of the person, your gun fires.
Just
I said,
shoots.
what?
Yep.
That sounds like cheating.
That's cool.
Sweet, baby.
Yep.
It looks good, though. I mean, the graphics and stuff, it looks like a full-blown game.
I've
Yeah, look at
tried
some of it.
both
Looks
of them,
really good.
and the problem with the auto fire, Ryan, is that you're not as precise. So if somebody's head's peeking, you're probably not going to hit them as much as you would if you had, because it's not going to pick them up on the sensor. So
Gotcha.
Okay.
Well, it's official though. It is the largest mobile game launch in
crazy.
history.
That's
So,
crazy.
with Modern Warfare coming out, late October 25th,
Oh, yeah.
they're gonna do good. So
I think there's more anticipation for Modern Warfare than any game in the last probably 6 years for them, for Call of Duty.
yeah, especially on the
my
Activision
cousin
side.
keeps trying to get me to pre-order. I'm like, John,
It looks good. I mean, the graphics, not just the game and the way they're setting it up, but the graphics and stuff just look like they just took a whole another level to the game. It just looks freaking super good.
I like it.
I like how they've taken a step back too from that like super cartoony.
Mm-hmm.
They went really like action cartoon for a little bit with the
Yeah.
jetpacks, and
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
now it's back to like Modern Warfare 3 where it looks realistic and stuff. So
Right.
I like
actually
that a lot.
doing the graphics on Modern Warfare look amazing from what I've seen. So I'm really pumped about all that.
All right, guys, hit that share button. If we get 1,000 shares tonight, I'll pull my root canal out.
Wow.
Wow, that's rough. Okay,
Hey,
Watch it
just
start
real quick,
ding, ding,
did you
ding.
find what you're looking for, Clint?
did I find what I was looking for?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Oh, you looked like you were looking for something, so I was going to say something to...
No, my Google Chrome is doing the old glitch that it was doing earlier.
Oh, nice.
So
Well,
I'm
just so you
trying
guys
to
don't
get it
forget, I'm going to say it live on here so other people hear it too. You know how we did the old waxing of the nipple for our competition a while back?
Mm-hmm.
I saw a video today where people were taking, you know that black stuff they put on their face?
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? They were putting that in their nose with Q-tips
No.
and ripping out the nose hairs.
Oh,
Yes.
Oh, my
We should do
goodness.
that. We should
No
do that
way.
as a Lowe's. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
No, because I'm gonna be stuck with it in my nose.
Yep.
You know, they're gonna have to take me to the ER, put some numbing cream on it. And
I've got
then-
hairy nostrils, too. They're in there. Oh, yeah.
No,
It would hurt
that's-
so bad.
That's a horrible idea. That's the worst
Okay.
idea. Right?
We're doing it.
No, I'm not.
Yep.
That's
you and
gotta,
Hunt,
that's
you and
gotta be
Hunter
a
can.
challenge.
No
Clinton,
way.
you know, if we do it, you're gonna cheat your way out of it.
I-
Anyway,
It's all he ever does.
I rather. I'm gonna say this, guys. You can put it on mute if your kids are around. I rather wax the sack, or wax
Then do the
nipple
nose.
than
Then do the nose.
Yeah, you got more.
Bro.
You got more feeling up
No,
there.
it's so quick. You obviously never
Nah.
seen the video of that before. They
Nah.
just put it up there and just real quick, it's done.
Nah,
I think it'd be less painful than the nipples. But you wouldn't know about that anyways, would you, Clinton?
no, because I never had to wax them because I'm a winner. Oh.
Cheater.
So I'm gonna wrap this one up. Quick. PlayStation 5. We've talked about rumors. We've talked about, big announcements. Well, Sony has made it official. The next generation console of PlayStation 5 will be coming out holiday of 2020. It's official, boys. And it will be called the PlayStation 5.
So we're waiting for a whole nother year.
Yep. So this
That's
time,
good. I don't
this
feel
time next
cheated
year.
out of my fourth.
Yep. So this time next year, well, not this time, but Christmas time of next year, it'll be launching. I'm betting probably Thanksgiving-ish time.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So the company announced that they're going to be changing the controller of the PS5. They're They're replacing the Rumble technology that Sony's been using since the original PlayStation for a new haptic feedback technology that is promising it will offer a broader range of feedback. So I guess more, quicker response maybe.
Well, that broader range probably means it can be either stronger or weaker rumble, not just rumble. It can be different levels of it. You know what I mean?
Responsiveness of it, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They're also making changes that there's to the triggers, to the actual, to basically be your R2, L2 triggers. They're wanting to make adaptive triggers on this one. So the example they give, they're going to be able to program into the controller different resistances based on what's going on in the game.
Okay.
So it's not just going to be clicky. You know, you may have one that's harder to push down and
That's
No, that'd be
cool.
cool.
Yeah. So
Keep going. Sorry, I was
I
going.
was just going to say, sorry, that's all right. They were saying that you'll be able to feel the increased tension as you draw back a bow, for instance. So you're drawing back a bow or something. You'll be able to feel that tension with the triggers.
It'd be kind of cool, I think.
Or like if you're on rough terrain, like if you're driving, you get extra pressure on that trigger because you're going across certain terrain or
That's so sweet.
all that kind of stuff. And then they're gonna have the standard 100 gigabyte Blu-ray disc player on there, and then all the other stuff that they've talked about in the past, all the other specs that come with that. I believe it's like the 4K resolution, the 3D audio, the 8-core CPU, all that kind of stuff. Is still going to be included in that as well.
It'll be a beast.
Yes, it will. Now it's like, do I buy Xbox or PlayStation? That's going to be my struggle.
Dude, PlayStation to the day I die.
'Cause I can only buy one. I can only buy one. So that's going to end it though for the news. I wanted to end it on a good note and not like a political or legal note. So,
fun fact.
Hey guys, we know our show is addicting. Please don't sue us because we made it so addicting.
yeah, please don't do
Fun
that.
fact that the X button on the PlayStation actually was never the X button. It's called the cross button.
Oh,
That was released by Sony themselves.
they got tired of us calling it the X button, huh?
Yes.
Is that what we're done with that? Nice. Awesome. Well, I'm curious as to what's going on the Amazon.
Oh yeah, it's not just Amazon. We're gonna be all over the place today.
Sweet.
But I'm ready to roll.
All right.
Are ye scurvy dogs? Where's me loot?
All right, guys. Today we're doing gadgets and gifts, gizmos, and tricks and treats because it's some Halloween stuff we're talking about because it's October. So I'm going to start off with a couple things that I just thought were cool, and then I've got just a few things that were kind of a little bit weird. But
Okay.
I don't have a ton, which is good because we're time wise is a little bit tight. So
My bad.
don't have any problem. No, I think your segment was the most important today. Honestly,
it was.
I enjoyed it the most. It's what we're doing the most right now, and so it was perfect. Don't feel bad to interrupt me though if I don't get to everything. No problem.
Okay.
Okay, first, I'm going to say first. Most people say last but not least. I'm going to say first and least. It's going to be this one. Clint, you can go ahead and play the one for the doorbell.
Okay.
If your Chrome is even working. If not, it's fine. We'll just go on from there. But this is called a Gimme, which I think is the brand. Gimme Animated Eyeball Doorbell, guys. If you're looking for some little stuff for your decorations, this is not very expensive, and I thought it was more unique than most of the things you see. It's basically a doorbell. It looks like a normal doorbell, but once you press the button, it's got little eyelids that open up, and then there's like a green digital eye that starts looking around. And I thought the kids would think that's super cool. So,
Or they'll just run away screaming. Either way.
yeah, either way, it's and it talks too, like blah, 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 scary things like all the little porch stuff says.
Okay.
But it looks. I like the fact that when you walk up, you don't already know it's an eyeball. Like it opens once you hit the button. So I mean, it obviously looks like a Halloween decoration, but you don't know what it's going to do.
Yeah.
I thought it was pretty unique.
And you said it was digital, but really it's more robotic than it is digital.
Yeah, maybe it is robotic.
I mean, it kind of pops out. I mean, it's a little eye moving
It
around.
lights up.
Yeah, in the shape
But
of the circle
it's
and everything.
Yeah, it's got a quality that looks digital. You're right. The way it lights
Right.
up.
Yeah, the
Yeah, they
lights
did a
and
good
stuff
job
in it
on
look
it.
digital. Yeah. That's really cool.
And so that one is only $12. They sell it at Cracker Barrel.
If you're
Really?
inside,
Yeah.
if you're inside your house and they push that instead of your regular bell, how are you going to know they're there?
I'm pretty sure that goes over your doorbell. And so
Does it?
when they press that, it presses your doorbell.
Oh, okay. I see.
Yeah.
So it has a latch or
It's got a
something
little-
that opens it up.
Well, yeah, with a little lever on the back that pushes through that thing.
Yeah, that would make sense. Okay.
If they didn't do that, then they should have.
Yeah.
But I
Yeah,
think that's
because
what it is.
that's a good first question right there, Hunter.
Right.
Yeah.
But a lot of times when you're doing trick or treat, you're like at the door.
You're waiting
kid
on
after
them,
kid
yeah.
after kid. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Second thing that I've got for you guys. I thought this was cool. I actually saw this on a Facebook ad, and I was like, I don't see unique stuff very often on Halloween. They got all kinds of scary masks and stuff. I just thought this one was really unique,
Mhm.
and it's called the Purge Halloween mask.
Okay.
Clint, do you have that video you can play?
Oh yeah. You just say them, and I'll bring them up for you.
Oh yeah. This is it's pretty cool. It's like a mask, but it's got a digital face on it that's lit up with LEDs. And if I remember right, it even shifts and stuff like that. Like it changes a little bit. And I just thought that one was one of those that I don't think I've ever come across a mask that quite has that vibe, that look to it. So, and you see, when you go to the store, you see so many different masks. To come up with one that's unique, I think it's hard to do. And so I think they did a good job on that mask.
And it blends in really well, like the lights. If you guys on the audio podcast go look it up, the lights are kind of, it's like tube lights, kind of like very small tube lights. So it really goes well with the mask. It's interwoven into the mask, so it doesn't look like it's there purposefully. As far as when you're looking at the mask not lit up.
I'm not too certain if it was the same thing, but I thought I saw one of these at Walmart the other day.
Yeah,
you might have.
I saw it because it was made the same way. I just didn't realize there were lights. I thought that was just part of the mask. It's supposed to look
Gotcha.
like that.
Yeah.
Another one. This was just an idea that I had when I was thinking about what are some good props, that are good and scary for kids and stuff like that. When we were younger, we did a couple different things, like where we hung from the, like we had a big tree that had a branch that reached out, and we dressed up and we hid in that branch and would drop down on the porch once the kids were there and just scare the crap out of them.
Nice.
And I was just thinking, what would be a good thing that's popular around Halloween is a chainsaw, right? We see like prop chainsaws and stuff like that all the time. Forget about the prop chainsaw. Most people, either you or within a couple friends, somebody owns a chainsaw, right? A real one. Okay? Just get a real chainsaw. This is cheap. Take the blade off, put the bar back on. Now it's not dangerous. You can actually have that chainsaw with all that true noise and vibration of a real chainsaw and come out, chasing people with that, which I think is what they do like in corn mazes and different things like that.
Right, yeah,
but
they
if you
just
had that at your house and you popped out from around the corner with that, those kids are not going to be
People are
ready.
going to be toppling over each other to get
Oh,
away.
yeah.
Hunter's already like, I'm not coming to Ryan's house.
No.
Okay, this is the last really cool one that was gadgety. This would be a projector, and Clint's got a video for that too, guys. This is pretty sweet. Now, there's one company that this is actually showing, and they have really high-end graphics that they've done, which work perfect for this theme. Which is basically you hang a sheet or a curtain that's sheer, or you could put a screen that's made to let pass through in your window, and then you shoot this projector from inside onto the back side of it, and it looks like it's on the window.
Yep.
There's some great animations.
Yeah.
Really good
It
animations.
looks, depending on what you use, it looks really like legit too.
Oh,
on some
yeah,
of them.
yeah. And you do have to have your own projector, though. So all you're doing here is you're just paying for the digital copy of these things. And so if you have an HD projector or you know a friend that's got one and you want to borrow it, it's some really cool animations they've done.
Wow.
And they've got some that are even, you can shoot on the garage or whatever, but I think the window really adds an element to it that's cool, especially for the shadow, the silhouette ones.
Yeah.
But
I feel like the ones with the shadows, when you guys go look at this, there's some that are on a white background with shadows. I feel like those are the most realistic looking.
Yeah. Well, they do look real. Yeah. And I'd be wondering, how did they do that? To where, the other ones, they look really good. I mean, they're great graphics, but it's hard to tell that, what do you call it? It's not like you're going to feel that it's real. You're going to just know it's a projector.
Yeah.
To where the one that's a silhouette, you're like, how did they do that? What are they doing?
Do they have actors in there? And
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think you can set these up. They have audio with them too. So if you have speakers, the witches and things like that, or whatever, they'll be talking or making ghoul goblin sounds. I think that's just so much better than, oh, we're gonna put a little skeleton on the grass. You know what I mean? Like that's a big step up.
Wow, you're just gonna insult me like that live on the podcast? Huh?
No, I'm not insulting you with that. Everybody
Well,
does
okay.
that, and it's okay. But if you want to step it up, projector, you know what I mean?
I'm
With some
stepping it.
HD scary stuff.
I'm stepping it up for Christmas. Okay.
You want to be that
That's
house that makes the kids not so sure they can come up. You know what
Yeah,
I mean? Like,
yeah.
I'm nervous about that house.
But then
maybe
what
the
you-
younger ones even
then-
cry.
But that's the problem. That's the problem. So you have to gauge it. What kind of neighborhood do you live in? Ours is more little kids. So if I did that, then I can't give away any candy. I got all this candy stuck in the house now.
Perfect.
You know,
Give
the
it to
kids
me.
are scared. Work on that no neck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I've been working on it for years. I've mastered it. Yeah. Okay, now we got one here that's a little weird. I'm going to jump to it. There's no video with it. Let me see if I can find it. Okay. I mentioned beer belly in the beginning. I've never seen this. I thought this was funny. I think it'd be funny outside of Halloween.
Okay.
But basically, it's a fanny pack that's a beer belly. And it's got like a digital print of a real belly with hair and everything on it.
I've seen this.
And so you could have it like hanging out of your shirt. But inside of it, it's insulated so you can have cold drinks, like beer literally, inside the beer belly.
Okay.
And so, and they've got a couple different versions. Some that are really hairy and pale, and they're not that much, like $12 to $15.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a pretty cool little.
Genius level marketing.
Yeah.
It looks real. Yeah, it looks like your belly's just hanging out from the bottom of your shirt.
I think that's good, especially if you did like a hillbilly character or something like that, and then you were at a Halloween party and you actually could keep your beer in there. I mean, I just think that'd be fun.
That's hilarious.
I can imagine a girl, like a really good-looking girl with that on.
And you just
be weird.
It'd throw you off for a minute. What's up with your belly?
Kind of rubbing your belly button. You know what I mean? Okay, I like this one, and there's a couple different versions of this one. I'm just going to move on. These aren't so weird, but they're cool to me. It's basically blood bags for kids. And so I started thinking, why don't people give away like weird Halloween candy? It's mostly they give away Kit Kats and whatever's easy to get at Walmart. So I was looking up, what about some stuff that like goes with Halloween? Well, these are cool. There's different kinds. There's some that are like, these are actually for drinks, right? They're refillable. You can buy them in a set of 10, and you get 10 of them for $10.95 on Amazon. They've got all kinds of different pictures on them, from like poison to, blood to, saline or whatever. But you fill them with different Kool-Aids, whatever color you want to, and the kids can kind of drink on them while they're walking around. I thought that was pretty cool. Yeah. Those ones you can't give out because they're refillable, and parents would be really weird about that, right?
Right.
But there are other versions that are filled with like, let me see if I can find that one. Yeah, they're filled with like a goo, like more like a syrup candy. You know what I'm talking about? And so they're red and they're smaller bags. They're little clear bags, and they say blood type S+, which maybe that means sugar plus. Yeah, that's my guess as a dad. Yeah, but they're just filled with like a syrupy red goop. Yeah, that the kids could eat. If I got that as a kid, I think that was way cooler than just Kit Kat. Oh, yeah. Like, I want to open a little taffy that looks like a brain, or you know what I mean, some actual Halloween themed candy. But see, nobody really does that.
That's the problem, though. That's because of years of those people that actually tried to hurt kids. Like put poison in their candy or glass and things like that. Those are the ones that ruin that kind of stuff. Because I'm sure back in the old days.
But these are pre-made sealed stuff. I'm not talking about making your own little brain taffies. I'm talking about buying some brain taffies.
People may not think of that then.
That's true.
Like this may be stuff that you buy more for parties because of that, right?
Right. Yeah. There's a market for that.
Yep.
You just stop talking.
Okay. I'm going to run down a couple weird candies real quick.
Just run them down. Don't step on them.
Yeah, you've got it looks like a little mint jar, and it's full of like rabbit turds, rabbit turds in the mint jar. You got bag of organs, and it's got pretty realistic looking like organs in a little. It's actually in like a tray like you'd buy a steak. It's like wrapped. It's got the organs.
So is it like marshmallows or something? Maybe.
It looked like it was probably like gummies or something, but not clear gummies. They're opaque. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Then you've got, I like this one. I think kids, this would be a cool one. It's scorpions inside a sucker. There's little scorpions inside the sucker, like real scorpions.
Yeah.
If I got that, I'd be pumped. I'd be like, bro, I got a scorpion sucker. And so, take a note, parents. Give the kids something cool to get excited about.
Yeah.
My favorite candy out of everything I saw, I think, because I'm more into if it looks real, it's cool, right? The organs look pretty real, but my favorite were these, and there's not a brand name. I wish you could pull them up. They're just called designer lollipops, okay? And they're creature eyes. So the lollipop is very clear and glossy, like a real eyeball, right? And then inside of there, like an old marble, there's like a cat's eye, like a slit, and then just really cool looking iris colors, you know what I mean, and stuff like that. Some are red, some are green and blue, and they look super real, like real eyes. And I think those are cool for sure.
That's really cool.
I don't know if you can pull a picture of those up or not. But let's see here if I had anything else. You guys remember any candies when you were kids that really stood out to you at Halloween as your favorite?
Just candy corn.
Candy corn.
That's the only time we ever ate candy corn was like Halloween time.
What's funny is a lot of people hate candy corn, and I loved it.
Yeah,
I
it's
used
just
to
pure
love candy
sugar.
corn
I don't
when I
know
was
why
a kid.
people hate
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, I don't either. They say it tastes waxy.
You're not a fan, Hunter? No? Really?
No.
Too much sugar?
I don't think that they're gross. They're just not phenomenal. It's not like when I think Halloween, I think, ooh, candy corn.
I mean, for Halloween, I'm mainly collecting Reese's and Snickers.
So there is something that I like. My mom mixes candy corn and peanuts in a bowl. Try that this year.
So you got the sweet, salty thing.
And popcorn balls. I've had popcorn
good.
balls at Halloween that are really good.
Hey, people are scared to give out popcorn balls now because of the same thing you were talking about.
Yeah, you make all that stuff and no one's going to take it anymore.
Those homemade popcorn balls were so good back in the day. Old ladies would be giving them out. Loved them.
Johnny said he remembers those weird suckers at the gas station that had grub worms in them. I remember
yes,
too.
that would be a good one.
That is a good one. Yes. Yeah. Oh, that sounds amazing.
I remember as a kid, there were these. I don't remember if they were lips or teeth, but they were kind of like the ones that go in your mouth, right? Yeah. I wouldn't say it's a pacifier, but it kind of looks like, maybe the werewolf teeth.
Did it have a sucker on it?
But they were gummies. The whole thing was a gummy. And you could put it in there in your mouth, and obviously you end up eating it, but you put it in, play around. Yeah. I haven't seen those for a long time, and I remember I liked getting those.
But we also had candy cigarettes, guys.
Yeah, I'm like plain Jane. Mine's not creative, but my favorite was the sour worms, trolley sour worms.
Oh yeah, nobody gives out those though.
No, I got them every once in a while.
Yeah, and I love those things.
I think my dad just bought them most of the time and
give them to you.
Gotcha.
Yeah, people just don't do the homemade stuff anymore, which sucks because you get some really sweet, some really cool candy sometimes from
Well, used to a big thing was candied apples, right? That was a big thing when you go to houses. What would be cool is to do some candied onions and just punk a bunch of kids. You just make them look like a candied apple.
Hey, you know what's really nasty? I don't even know if they sell it anymore, but rock candy.
Yes.
And it's from old school, it's supposed to be from the 1900s, early 1900 candy that they made.
Yeah.
Tastes like butt. Just nasty.
Yeah. What about Pop Rocks? You guys like
Pop Rocks? Yeah.
Oh yeah, I love Pop Rocks.
Oh yeah.
Okay, there you go. Hey, let's do some Pop Rocks that we have maybe there's a little bit of blood with it and something else. You know what I mean? And you get to mix them and they start popping and then you get a scoop of that goo and you eat it. Where's that?
Little zombie head.
Yeah.
When you bite into it, it's got soft chocolate in the middle with Pop Rocks.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Hey, Warheads. We love you guys. I love those things. The sour old Warheads back in the day. Make one that looks like a monster. Like a little zombie. You know what I mean?
Pop Rocks in it.
Boom.
Yep. Oh, and Pop Rocks in it. Yeah, let's do the whole thing. And inside of there, give me some gummy lips and some candy corn.
Hunter's gonna come with a cake that's like a zombie, like a person's head, and you cut into it and brains come out.
Oh, that'd be sweet.
I like that.
We have a Halloween party. I could attempt that.
Yeah, that'd be sweet. We could have a Halloween party. It's just, we got little kids. So it's going to
Yep.
be like, hey, let's play. You could even play tic-tac-toe. Our kids wouldn't get it.
Yeah.
Ryan's kid would, but mine'd be like,
Right.
Johnny
Yeah, we're
said
almost
don't-
there.
Johnny said, "Don't snort warhead dust."
Oh my
I
gosh.
think that would be a bad idea.
Johnny,
without
if
even
you did that, my
bad
friend,
advice.
I want video.
Hey. Am I the only one who snorted pixie sticks, or was
Hey.
that like a normal thing?
No, I did that.
Okay.
100,
On a
That
bet.
was bad
100
too.
100 shares on this video, and I'll snort a warhead.
And then we'll see you at the ER.
Yeah. That's funny.
Oh, goodness. That's gross. I remember eating a dog biscuit one time. Wasn't bad.
A dog biscuit.
Yeah, like the little dog bones.
Probably
Every
both.
kid's tried some dog food or dog biscuits or that kind of stuff. You know what kids haven't tried?
Well, it was a dare.
and
That's
if
why.
if you did, you're kind of sick. It's the canned food.
I was about to say.
You
can't
tried
do
the
it.
canned food, it's a whole nother level. Like, I crunched some kernels of dog food, and I crunched some
Yeah.
kernels of cat food just to
Yeah.
see what they're all about. But I would never
There's-
take a bite of that canned food. No
and
way.
The truth of it is, what I've tried when I was a kid, I took a little kernel too and just tried it out of the dog food bag.
Mm-hmm.
It's plain Jane. Like
Mhm.
it's just
Yeah, it's not bad.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, okay. But the canned dog food, I've always wanted to, though. I never did. Now, Ryan, sounds like you did, though. Sounds like you've
No.
done it. Oh,
No,
come
never.
on. Come on.
No,
Okay.
I never would. That stuff stinks too much.
No, the stink. I
Yeah.
like the stink. I'm kind of like, smells good to me.
No,
Really?
you're the
Really?
weird one.
Yeah.
Clinton's the weird
I
one.
pop open some canned dog food, and I'm like, that smells good.
Wow.
Dude.
He's like, it's
Okay,
better than
hey.
Spam.
That's our next video. Clinton's got to eat some dog food.
That's got to be a punishment, though. I'll do that.
That's got to be a punishment for you. Okay, that's what
Oh,
we'll
yeah.
do.
No, for
Either we
everybody.
get
What
our-
do you mean?
No,
Not
no,
just
no,
for
no,
the-
no. I'm not eating the dog food.
Why
So,
not?
Look, we get our
Me and Ryan will get a wax
hair. I can't even say the word 'cause I'm excited. We can't. Yeah, wax our nostrils, hairs, rip the
Or
hairs
Clint
out.
eats dog food.
Or
If
Clint
you-
eats
Canned
dog food.
Yeah,
I can do
yeah.
that.
Yeah.
I get to
Oh
pick.
my
I get
gosh.
to pick the brand, though.
Yeah, that's fine. What you should get is the Alpo with gravy, where it's like the chunks in the gravy.
Oh, I don't know if I can get. I'm talking about old school 1990s.
I know what
got
you're
dog
talking
like
about.
that-
Where it's like a whole thing
Yeah.
that kind of shakes out again.
Yeah.
It's got that
Yeah.
gel
I
layer
know what you're
on the
talking
top.
about. Yep. just like Vienna sausages have, right? That
I
little
love
layer
Vienna
of gel.
sausages.
Yeah, I do too.
Tear them up.
I'm that guy that drinks that salty liquid that's in there. It's probably no different than the dog food.
How
It's
much
just
of the dog food
rebranded.
do I have to eat, though? That's the question.
Oh, like a quarter of the can. I wouldn't make you do
Yeah.
anything more than that.
Okay.
That's what I was agreeing.
I think we pull in Johnny for that one, though, since Johnny's in the chat.
Or we can
I
make
think
him
we
like
just
a
pull him
dog
in
food
for the
sandwich.
punishment.
Johnny's like, I was just eating dog food yesterday.
Still
I
big deal.
thought everybody.
I've
Yeah.
tried it all, bro. I'm good.
Yeah.
Dude, he's dissing on Spam. Hey, I've ate some Spam sandwiches in my day, brother.
Oh,
One time
I
at
don't know.
game camp.
At game camp? Oh,
Yeah.
I get where you're going with that. Yeah.
I got it right.
I thought there really was a game camp, and I was like, what? What is that? Yeah.
There should be. Boom.
There you
You
go.
start a camp.
Genius.
It's a
of
summer
gamers.
camp just for
Ryan.
gamers.
Gaming. Yeah.
Again, Ryan.
Quit throwing out
I
all
got
the good
these ideas,
ideas.
man.
Quit throwing
I
out
got
the
these
good
Johnny's
ideas.
Johnny-
watching too.
Johnny's
There, it's
running
gone.
with that one.
Johnny
Yep,
took
it's
it.
gone.
He's gone.
Johnny, we'll be camp counselors, okay? Let's do it.
Uh-huh.
Camp counselors don't make the money, Clinton.
That's fine. It's free gaming all summer long, baby.
Well, we didn't make this one as short as we said we were gonna,
We didn't.
but it was a good one.
Yeah, for sure.
Enjoyed all you guys listening and watching.
We did.
We've had fun.
Yes.
We did.
It's a fun night.
Yep. Next time, Ryan will have a baby. It's crazy.
Yep, that's true. Baby's coming along.
Ryan's not having the baby.
Like it or love it.
Ryan's
Yeah,
going
I
to
am.
sit there and be supportive.
I'm not birthing the baby, but I'm definitely having
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Ryan's not. Just to make that clear, he's not birthing the baby.
Okay.
one. Right.
Okay. Yeah. So, you don't get to lose that 8 pounds or whatever, right off the bat.
Mm-hmm. I think they say it's about 25 pounds on average.
Yeah.
Counting the
Once you get
baby
rid
and
of all the
everything else.
fluids and
Mhm.
yeah.
That's a
Yep.
lot.
This is true. Well, guys, thanks for hanging in and getting some deliriousness going on this evening, morning, daytime, whatever time it is for you. You can check us out on our Patreon if you'd like to support the channel, like to support the show. If not, hey, we're still here, free for you, man. So, with that said, Ryan,
I'm just going to say it, guys. I mean, I have to. Stay delirious.
Stay dadding.
and stay gaming.
Hunter's face got like real serious and prepped for that. I loved it.
Your mom's face was serious. This has been a Delirious Dads production. For more information about the show,
I feel like I'm in a
visit our
handicap
website
because I can't really say anything about your mom.
www.deliriousdadsgaming.com.
No, he never.
You can also
he never
find us
mutes us.
on
We're still everybody hears us.
facebook.com/deliriousdadsgaming, twitch.tv, and YouTube. Make sure you like and share our pages to help us grow the channel. You can listen to the podcast on iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, and Spotify. Please leave a rating and review if you enjoy the show. Thank you again for listening, and we hope to see you next time.